Hello, welcome back to Leafin'Green. Today is a somewhat less exciting topic because I am dealing with spider mites. Awful things. Now, if you find spider mites on one plant, it is highly likely that they are on many more of your plants. These things are microscopic. They make little webs, so really the only way to find out you have them in the first place is to inspect your plants under a light, like your phone flashlight or under a grow light, and if you see webbing, it is time to inspect. Now, best case scenario, it's going to be a spider. Worst case scenario is it's going to be small, really fine webs, and you don't even always see the spider mites, but if there are a lot of them, you might even see white dots. And that's when you know you're dealing with spider mites. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not a fun time. What do you do when you find that dreaded web on that one plant? Or in my case, find that one web and work out that literally almost, I would say 60% of your entire plant collection has spider mites. Now, the first thing you're going to do is freak out, probably. At least I did, because I hate these things. They absolutely decimate plants. If you don't get onto them quickly, they will kill your plant, and there's basically no coming back for the leaves that they've already attacked, depending on the severity of your outbreak. So the first thing that I did was treat them. Spray all the plants immediately. There are a number of different things that people like to use. So a mixture of dishwashing detergent and water is one of them. I used an alcohol water solution. So I sprayed everything down with 1 part rubbing alcohol, 1 part water. And really, if you can, you do want to be wiping off each leaf and drying it. Unfortunately, with how many plants I had, and working a 38-hour week, I just did not have time to go through every leaf, and it just was not practical. So I basically just drenched them in an alcohol water spray. Most of them tolerated it okay, but some of them did get black spots on the leaves, where I'm just guessing it's because I let it sit as opposed to drying off each leaf. But in the grand scheme of things, aesthetically, that's not a big deal, and I'm not too upset about that. So I sprayed them with alcohol and water. The ones that were really quite infected, I did wipe down as many leaves as I could, and then I just let them sit. So after spraying them, I left them for a couple of days, and then I gave them a shower, stuck them all in the bathtub, gave them a shower, because spider mites are attracted to very dry leaves, warm environments, and dust on the leaves. So if possible, you want to be showering or hosing down your plants, every 3 or at least every 6 months. So I did that. A couple of days later, alcohol and water sprayed again, because this was a particularly bad outbreak and I just didn't want to risk it, and I would rather have had alcohol burn damage than spider mite damage, but it didn't really damage the leaves apart from a few black spots on some plants, like I said. So you'd probably want to wait a bit longer if you were particularly worried about damaging the foliage between sprays. And now I'm going to try bugs for bugs. But before I get into this, I was going to say that neem oil or different types of oils and pesticides are another option for spider mites. Systemic pesticides are quite toxic though. They're poisonous to humans. They're a lot harsher. So personally, I don't like to use those, but they're effective. I just want to use as few harsh chemicals as I can, but also don't really want to be working with poison myself. And oils tend to, I don't know, in my experience, they tend to suffocate the leaves. Once I've sprayed with oils, the leaves just don't do as well as they used to. And if you've sprayed with oil, you can't get any direct sunlight on the leaves because they'll burn, so you'll need to rinse them a few times before they can get even, you know, morning sun through a window. So my preference isn't really oils, and I try to avoid highly toxic pesticides. So I used my alcohol in my water solution, and now I'm going to try beneficial insects. So Bugs for Bugs is a Toowoomba based company, and it's the first time that I'm trying them. I got these very quickly, so I mean, I am in Queensland, but it takes a day to arrive, probably because I'm so close to them. These are beneficial bugs that eat pests. And I think this is just a great way to deal with pests because you're not introducing chemicals. It's a bit of a set and forget, you know, you sprinkle them on and then you leave your plants and they kind of just do their thing and make sure your plants aren't affected by pests. So on their webpage, they have a section on what's your pest. And then you just basically choose what you're dealing with, and then they give you beneficial bugs that you could purchase to deal with that pest. Now, I got Californicus. So these are predatory mites that eat spider mites. So I'm just going to do a bit of an unbox and show you how it's all done. Now, I'm not sure how well they're going to work from my own experience, but I've heard really great things from a lot of experienced plant growers and collectors. So I think this is going to be an optimal solution for someone who lives a busy lifestyle like myself. Bugs for Bugs, like all the information is on their website, but they recommend 2 or 3 courses if you're dealing with an outbreak. And then you can also sprinkle them preventatively from time to time, which is what I think I'll do from now on. And these are microscopic bugs. They're basically the size of spider mites, if I had to describe the size. It's not like you're going to have bugs crawling on your furniture or anything like that. So let's unbox this and I'll show you what it looks like. So all the instructions and all the fact sheets are on the website to tell you, you know, how long you can keep them and store them and things like that. But they come in tubes that look like this. And there is a breathable bit of material here and a cap and some tape. So I've got 2 tubes. So just doing the plants in some of the rooms I have. And it has come with the Californicus tech sheet. So if you have a really, really bad outbreak, there are databases that you can use to check which pesticides you can use with these bugs and won't harm these bugs if you need something on top of these to tackle your spider mite outbreak. And it basically tells you the key target pests, you know, the advantages, how many they recommend per however many square meters. And yeah, it's a really helpful fact sheet that they've included with this, but they also have that on their website and I've already read that. So to unpack them, you would just get the tape off one end. The bugs, because they're microscopic, you won't necessarily see the bugs straight away, but they are shipped in vermiculite. So this does make a bit of a mess because you're essentially sprinkling vermiculite around your house. However, small price to pay to save my plants. So we've taken the tape off. I'm going to take this cap off, this red cap. There's a bit of breathable fabric. Are there any bugs on here that I can show you? No bugs on there. But yeah, so I've removed that bit of material and left the vermiculite exposed. And I'm basically just going to pop that cap back on, and I'm going to use this as a shaker to sprinkle on my plants. They do say that it's best to sprinkle it on the foliage, but I guess for a majestic, it's a little bit difficult to get it on all the leaves. So I'm just going to sprinkle this at the base of the plant. And, you know, I'm just going to repeat this for all my plants. And I'll probably put a bit more for the ones that have a lot of spider mites present, because these bugs can only eat a certain amount each day. And that's all there is to it, really. I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle all my plants. This is how microscopic they are. You can see them moving along the black mesh. Very tiny. So that was actually pretty easy. It certainly beats spraying and wiping down the leaves of all my plants. And, you know, it's kind of set and forget, and I'm going to let them do their thing. And fingers crossed we can get on top of this outbreak. So far my experience has been great. I'm sure there are lots of other companies that do the same thing and sell beneficial bugs. But I think that this is the way forward for me, I guess, to prevent to prevent pests to begin with, and I guess deal with them as they arise. But you really do need to be inspecting your plants daily so that you can get on top of things early, which in turn allows you to deal with them more effectively and a lot more easily. So fingers crossed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.